So did you guys know I could play the drums? Well, neither did I. Welcome to the Philip Cochran channel, my friends. No guitars or planes today, it's drums. If you had asked me a month ago if we'd be buying a drum kit, I would say, yeah, you're nuts, right? But, you know, here we are, and so I guess I must be nuts. You know, I played a little bit there in some of the bands that I've been in, you know, but I was pretty terrible, and, you know, it was never really my thing. But I was always interested in it, right? And now that they've got these electronic kits that are a lot smaller, you have control over the volume and stuff like that. I thought it was a good time to get into it and try it out. So this is the Alesis Surge Mesh kit. They call it an 8-piece, but in the electronic drums they count the cymbals as well. So it's actually 5 pieces and 3 cymbals. It comes with everything that you need. You've got the rack and the electronic module, even drumsticks I think are included in this. I've got a little short segment done about why I chose this particular model and what was kind of available and some of the comparisons to it, to the 2 other models below and above this one. So inside this box is like 10 or 12 other smaller boxes, which hold all these pieces in there. So it's going to take quite a while to unbox all this. It's the mother of all unboxings. So I don't want to, you know, have a hour-long video to do this, right? So I'm, you know, gonna do all that stuff off camera. I'll lay it out before I assemble it, right? And we'll come back on camera for a little bit, and then I'm gonna assemble the thing. And if there's any issues during the assembly and stuff, I'll stop the camera, you know, we'll talk about it, or I'll mention it or something like that, that hey, you got to watch out for this in assembly. But you know, it's I think it's going to take an hour or 2 or whatever, especially to, you know, adjust everything to the right height and all those good things, and hook it up to my PA system, and might as well hook it right up to the computer and stuff right away. And then hopefully end the video with a little bit of a sound sample for you guys. So stick around and we'll be right back. Okay, so here's a quick look at what's available on the market right now. I've been dealing with Long & McQuade for a long time. I've had an account there since I was 18 years old, so they're my go-to choice for professional quality instruments. You know, this was a quick education of myself. Of course, I watched a whole bunch of reviews and looked at what was the best, and you always come up with these 3 names between Roland, Yamaha, and Alesis. The Roland stuff is just too expensive. To get the same amount of pieces and so forth I've got in this kit, you're looking at more than $2,000, $2,200. And the Yamaha is about the same. They do have some entry-level things. So there's your Yamaha one at $600, but it's like a little kitty size frame. You don't have any kick drum or anything to it. So you've got to buy extra pieces and more stuff and that. So Alesis, I've got 3 line. I really fell in love with this red one because it just looks so great, I think, right? This one and the black one are the same. It's just a color difference, right? So they've got 3 levels, 550, 750, and 1,000. The differences between these kits, there's quite a big difference between them all, but I was really happy with the one that I chose here in the middle, the Surge Mesh, and so here's why. So what this has is all the good hardware from this kit, but the electronic piece from this kit, from the cheaper kit. Okay, so there's quite a big difference between the hardware and stuff between these 2 kits for the $200. All right, and then there's another $150 up for that kit, but it just gives you a different module, that's all. So what this better kit has over the cheaper kit is a bigger snare drum, 10-inch as opposed to 8-inch. It has dual zone toms on it, which means you have 2 different striking surfaces. These are just single zone toms in it. I think one of the cymbals is different on this kit. I'm not too sure. They're all 10-inch, but I think one has different activation features. And then you've got a totally different kick drum. It's a big 8-inch mesh head on this one, a much better quality one. So that's what the Surge kit has. It has all those better pieces to it. It just has the cheaper module to it. That's the only difference. So that's the one that I chose, and that's the reasons that I chose it. So let's get back to this unboxing. well, as soon as I opened the box, I was impressed. Look at that. That's nice, eh? Boxes of boxes. It's a good thing it's recycling day tomorrow. You can just see the sensor there. If I get the light right on it inside, it's like a square thing in the center. This is so cool. It does look like mesh, but it feels like a drum. Awesome. Here's a close-up of one of the cymbals. It's like thicker in the zone there that you hit in this thing, and it's off center than a normal cymbal is. There's the underside. So you plug in your thing there, I guess. Cool. Okay, here's some of the accessories. These are the brackets that hold the toms on and stuff. It's like 3/8 solid steel, nice and strong. It's got a nice nameplate. Clips on the frame. We've got a wrench with some kind of like little fasteners, tuner things or something. Straps to hold the cable system down. There's the cable system. It's all like one big plug into the module. Looks like it's pretty easy. You just gotta, hook them up on the right places. There's handy dandy installation connection diagram and the actual manual for it. There's a set of drumsticks. I think it's maple. Don't know, and I don't know my sizes there. So here's the module. Hold on, getting it. Alesis Surge. Apparently, they just changed the name on the Nitro one. The other one just says Nitro on it, and this one just says Surge, but it's exactly the same. And if you look at the Behringer one, it's exactly the same as this, but it just says Behringer on it, right? And I don't know about that Simmons company. But this thing here, guys, oh my God, this, when I open this up, this is substantial. This is a beast. It's all metal, of course, on the bottom, right? And it's heavy. It's solid. So that's your kick drum there. So it's 8 inches across on it. That piece alone, I would say, is worth the extra $200 on the kit, because that's pretty nice. Now, one thing I didn't mention in the comparison video from Long & McQuade was that the better kit has a better frame to it. Or sorry, the Surge kit has a better frame to it than the Nitro kit. And I'm not too sure about the kick drum, if it's, sorry, this is the snare hi-hat pedal. I'm not too sure if it's the same one that's in that kit either. I don't even know if these pieces are different or not, but this is really nice. This is all metal and stuff too. Some little things to grab the carpet, Velcro things to stop it from moving around. I do have to get a little carpet for that area. I think over there would be nice for it to play on. And then there's the kick drum. So I'm no expert on this stuff, but it looks really nice to me. Of course, it's all made of metal and everything, and yeah, I'm very impressed with the kit. I'm very impressed with how it was packaged so far. Here's a little, this is like the least impressive part of the whole kit. You open everything all up in there and you go, oh, they got this little tiny cheap little power adapter, but that's all it needs, right? It's just powering that module, right? It's very low voltage, right? Which is another great feature. So as you can see, my cardboarding is almost done there. I've got to take out the frame pieces out of that box and start bolting things together. Okay, unboxing phase complete. I am very impressed with this stuff, guys. I'm busting. This is just incredible. It's, even if I don't play this too often, it's well worth the money to me. It's just really, an awesome thing to own. So
He was very impressed with the quality and the packaging and stuff, even on it. All the frame pieces were in clear plastic bags, um, as long as with the toms and the hi-hats and stuff like that. Many clear plastic bags. The only piece was in the red bag, was that one that you see laying there. It has an R on it, so for some reason I think they want you to know that that piece is a little bit different. As far as, you know, its assembly goes, it's pretty intuitive, right? You know, you've got your two posts the same for your cymbals, one short one. You know, your tom mounts are all the same length, right? So you can adjust those to your same. So in your main legs there, one has two attachments and the other has three on it. The one that has three is the one that holds the tom that's closest to you. And that's about it. It took like 30 seconds to assemble the kick drum mechanism, right? It's, you know, very nice quality and stuff. So I'm going to hook it together. Okay, there's your assembly instructions. It's kind of like just a Lego diagram thing. It's very intuitive. Like, you really can't go wrong on this thing. You know, it's very simple. Everything is attached. All the hardware is already attached. You just have to loosen it, move it around, and tighten it back up into the space that you want to go. So the only pieces that come with it are these two screws to hold the cable, bottom of the cable, to the module, so you don't trip on it and pull it out. That's the only pieces of hardware that are loose in this kit. And just point out another nice feature. Let's see if that'll focus here. This is the cable snake. It's all labeled for each one, tom and snare and everything like that. Very easy, right? So you just plug it into the module, plug it into each component, and you're in business.
Okay, we're all done. Everything seems to work fine. You'll spend more time adjusting everything than you will actually bolting it together. All the brackets, as you could see, were already on the rails to begin with, but you have to turn them the right way. You can't really get it wrong, but you can have this, like this post on the back side of that clamp. And if you do that, that means that it's hard to adjust it. It still works, but it's hard to adjust it. And you want to be able to reach that thumb tightener, you know, easily underneath to be able to adjust it, instead of it being here in the back where it's going to be hard to reach. Other than that, so the positions on the brackets, how it came out of the box on the tubes and stuff, they had to be turned the right way to, you know, get them in the configuration like you see. But it's fairly intuitive. You know, the instructions really aren't instructions, they're just a few pictures, right? So assembly went really quick. I want to clean up the cable management a little bit more. I suggest not putting straps on or anything until you set things and the height that you want. I'm pretty happy with it right now, but I still want to tweak it a little bit. I can already see that, you know, putting it in the right position is going to make playing a lot easier, depending on who you are and your height and all that kind of thing. So by the way, one of the things that was unusual, that even right from their website, Alesi's website, is they didn't really have any dimensions on this kit, like how wide is it, how tall is it, how is this. Now maybe that's because there's a lot of adjustability to the thing. I don't know, obviously you can make it skinnier and thing, but there's some dimensions on here that are fixed that can't change. So one of them would be the overall height. Sorry about that. It's 32 inches on the front there. I pushed up the front right to the top of the rails there. So add another foot, you know, 42 inches for the top of the cymbals, the way I've got them sitting there. It's 24 wide at the front. It's 24 deep from the front to the back of the rail here. So where my hand is there, it's 24 inches, right? You can obviously position your kick drum and your hi-hat, you know, wherever you want. And then the back here is 45 inches wide, where the way I have it sitting right now. And again, I'm 6 foot tall. I have lots of room, you know. some people have said they complained that the height, you know, wasn't good for them or something like that. I think it's fine for any adult, and I would honestly really hate to see that little smaller Yamaha kit with the little tiny frame, because you know, this is about as you know, as cheap as I'd want to go with something like this, right? So it's going to fit in that little spot there just perfect. So that's a few dimensions for you, and a couple of assembly tips. You can leave most of these things are, you know, loose until you kind of move stuff around, but and then just before I finish, I'll bring the camera over and show you the control module, what the face looks like quick. It's got like 40 models or something built into it. You can record off it. It's got an auxiliary input on it. I'm going to change these cords weren't purchased for this. I didn't know I was going to buy this drum kit. They're, you know, for my guitar. So I'm going to have 90-degree cords that don't stick out like that, because that's just kind of ugly. But this is going to be sitting right over there. So, you know, you really won't see any of this stuff either. I'm going to tidy up the cable management a little bit better for final touches. Other than that, you can kind of like pick up this whole thing, you know, in one piece, other than, you know, disconnect the power cord or whatever, but you can pick it up in one piece and kind of, you know, move it around. It's not that heavy. Disconnect your foot switches and stuff like that. So it's not completely silent. As far as the feel goes, the feel is awesome. You know, the cymbals feel, you know, not like cymbals, because you're not hitting a piece of metal, obviously, right? You know, you're hitting plastic, right? But the drums, these mesh things on the drum heads, they feel like real drums, right? You know, so that's what it sounds like with no volume on it. You get an idea. It's not completely silent. Like if someone's banging away in the bedroom next to you, you know, you're going to hear them doing that, but it's nowhere near what a real drum kit would sound like. And then in that sense, this is better, because you can have so many more different sounds out of it, right? Also, these are completely tunable, these heads here, and I can also already feel like this tom feels quite a bit looser than these other two, right? Which is nice for the, you know, tom 3, but I'd like them to be the same. And anyway, so that's, you know, kind of what that sounds like silent. And as we apply a little bit of volume, that's kind of about a third, I guess, there. I haven't adjusted really anything on the PA system. I just plugged it in. You know, I turned up the volume on each channel. I turned up the main volume and plugged it in. There's an equalizer in here, and you can adjust sensitivity and all kinds of things. I have an equalizer on each channel that's coming out. There's also an equalizer on the output of the board, and there's also an equalizer on each speaker. So I have plenty of adjustment to, you know, get this thing sounding, you know, exactly the way I want it. Okay, so I have to go to about, you know, just past halfway, so I can start to hear it fairly good here. I'm not too sure what the camera's picking up, because it could be cutting it out, so I'm going to turn it up a little bit. That's about 3/4. It's fairly loud to me here in the studio, but again, I don't know what it's picking up here. You know, the next time I record something, we'll either go directly into the computer or with a better open air microphone. But everything's working. Their kick drum, hi-hat, crash, ride. That's got a choke to it there too. Snare, tom, tom, tom. You've got rim sounds too. And you can program all these things to make different sounds. So you can program like the rim on this one to sound like a cowbell. What was another cool feature is that you could program any one of these activation things to start and stop your music, which was really cool. I saw somebody kind of you know, using that, and it was really neat how that kind of worked, right? I'm not going to embarrass myself with trying to play any kind of song or anything like that. I just wanted to show you that everything works, and you know, it's 2:30 in the morning for me, so I got to get to bed. But I'm really happy with it. I'm really, really happy with it. I can't wait to learn the drums and rock it out, folks. So.
Hey, there's what your display looks like. I'm picking up it's a little bit better. Within 2 minutes, I figured out how to adjust individual things, and then to set that. So on kit number 1, as soon as I started modifying things there, I could save it as a different kit. So now that's my own kit because I wanted to have the snare more sensitive or less sensitive or something like that. So yeah, it's really cool. Again, love and peace from Canada, and we are YouTube.